Alright, let's dive into something that's been popping up in the news lately, and honestly, it's got me thinking. You might have seen the headlines, long-term unemployment is down. Sounds like good news, right? But here's the kicker. Economists are saying it's not all sunshine and rainbows. In fact, it might be a sign of something much bigger and, frankly, a bit worrying. So, let's break this down and figure out what's really going on. First off, the numbers. Long-term unemployment, that's people out of work for 27 weeks or more, dropped by 64,000 people from June to July. On the surface, that sounds like progress. But here's where it gets tricky. Economists are saying this decline isn't because people are finding jobs. Instead, it's because people are leaving the workforce entirely. And that, my friends, is a red flag. Personally, I think this is one of those moments where you have to look beyond the headline. What many people don't realize is that when someone stops looking for work, they are no longer counted as unemployed. So, the unemployment rate drops, but not because the job market is improving. It's like saying a problem is solved because people have stopped complaining about it. That's not a solution, it's just silence. What makes this really interesting is the why behind it. Corey Stahel, a senior economist at Indeed, points out that we are in a low-hire environment. People are hitting a wall, spending months job hunting with nothing to show for it. At some point, they just give up. I mean, think about it, if you've been sending out resumes for 9 months straight and still can't land a job, wouldn't you start questioning whether it's even worth the effort? This isn't just about frustration, it's about survival. These folks are cutting their losses, but at what cost? From my perspective, this raises a deeper question. What does it say about our economy when people are opting out of the workforce altogether? Heather Long, chief economist at Navy Federal Credit Union, calls it a wrong reason for the unemployment rate to fall. And she's spot on. A healthy economy doesn't push people out of the job market, it pulls them in. This trend isn't just bad for individuals, it's bad for the entire economy. Fewer workers mean less growth, less innovation, and less stability. Now, let's talk about the broader implications. Long-term unemployment isn't just a personal struggle, it's a financial time bomb. After 6 months, most people lose access to unemployment benefits. That means no regular income, no safety net, and all of this is happening while inflation and gas prices are still through the roof. It's a double whammy for households already on the edge. And here's the cruel irony, the longer you're out of work, the harder it is to get back in. Even when these folks do find a job, they often earn less than they did before. It's a vicious cycle. What this really suggests is that the job market isn't just stagnant, it's broken. Hiring rates are at their lowest since 2014, and layoffs are minimal, which means fewer openings for job seekers. It's a catch-22. Companies aren't hiring because they don't need to, and job seekers can't find work because there's nothing to apply for. Meanwhile, the few jobs that are being created are concentrated in specific sectors like healthcare. If you're not in one of those fields, you're out of luck. One thing that immediately stands out is how this trend disproportionately affects certain groups. Younger workers, older workers, and those without specialized skills are getting hit the hardest. It's not just about finding a job, it's about finding a job that pays enough to live on. And in this economy, that's becoming increasingly difficult. If you take a step back and think about it, this isn't just an economic issue, it's a social one. What happens to a society where a significant portion of the population feels left behind? In my opinion, this is a wake-up call. We can't just sit back and hope things will fix themselves. Policymakers, businesses, and individuals all need to step up. Maybe it's about retraining programs, incentivizing hiring, or even rethinking how we measure economic success. Because right now, a falling unemployment rate isn't a sign of progress, it's a symptom of a much bigger problem. So, here's my closing thought: what if we reframed this entire conversation? Instead of focusing on unemployment rates, what if we focused on meaningful employment? Jobs that pay a living wage, offer stability, and give people a sense of purpose. That's the kind of economy we should be striving for. Because at the end of the day, numbers only tell part of the story. The real story is about people, and right now, too many of them are being left behind. What do you think? Let me know in the comments below.